Hello, welcome to the Security Update with me, Hamse Daabjeerin. In this program, we will be covering for you the latest stories that matter security in the African countries from West to Horn of Africa. Ahead on the program, U.S. plans to send troops to help Kenya fight Al-Shabaab. UN security accuses Eritrean forces of deliberately starving Tigray. Somalia Prime Minister appoints committee to probe alleged missing youth sent to Eritrea for military training. G7 leaders call for access for aid workers in Tigray region. Welcome to the program. The United States of America is expected to send troops to help Kenya fight against Al-Shabaab. The U.S. withdrew all troops from Somalia and relocated to Kenya and Djibouti recently. Kenya forces and U.S. troops are expected to launch joint operations against Al-Shabaab fighters in the East African nation months after U.S. troops withdrew from Somalia. In a letter sent to the Congress, U.S. President Joe Biden said the deployment of American special troops to Kenya to help in the region's counter-terrorism efforts. The United States said it will continue to work with partners around the globe, with a particular focus on the United States Central and Africa Command's areas of responsibility. The president expressed his government's commitment to eradicate what they described as a terrorist groups in the region, saying U.S. troops cooperate with foreign forces in the fight against such groups. The U.S. government has been cooperating with Somalia and Kenya in the fight against Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda affiliate group based in the Horn of Africa nation. Since 2007, U.S. military operations had conducted dozens of airstrikes against Al-Shabaab, with some of the missiles that killed with some of the top leaders of the group, including Adan Hashi Airo and Ahmed Godane, who were the founders of the group. The UN top humanitarian official Mark Lowcock has accused the Eritrean forces of trying to deal with the Tigrayan population by starving them.
Remains the world's worst humanitarian crisis. 3/4 of the population, more than 22 million people, urgently require some form of humanitarian help.
Lowcock, in an interview, said Eritrean soldiers and local fighters are deliberately blocking supplies to the more than 1 million people in areas outside government control. Food is definitely being used as a weapon of war, he said. Ethiopia's government, the United Nations and aid agencies have delivered food and other help to some 3.3 million Tigray residents since March, according to the UN humanitarian agency OCHA, but most of that aid is going to government-controlled areas, Lowcock said. Eritrea, which fought a brutal border war against Ethiopia in 1998 to 2000, when the TPLF dominated the central government, didn't respond to questions for this article. Minister of Information Yemeni Gabriel Meskel has previously said that accusations that Eritrean soldiers are blocking or looting aid are fabricated.
It is not time. It is not a position to declare famine in current Tigray regional state context.
More than 350,000 of Tigray's nearly 6 million people are living in famine condition, according to an analysis by United Nations Agency and global aid groups. Nearly 2 million others are one step away from such dire deprivation, they said. Although Ethiopia has disputed these estimates, fighting since November between Ethiopia's government and the region's ousted ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF), has displaced more than 2 million people. The conflict broke out just before the main harvest, with each side blaming the other. The neighboring country of Eritrea and the next-door Ethiopian region of Amhara sent forces in support of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government to fight the Tigray people.
The Somali Prime Minister has announced a committee to investigate the reported youth sent to Eritrea for military training. This came at a time when some of the parents staged a protest in Mogadishu on Saturday, though the federal government declined these accusations. Mohamed Hussein Roble, the Prime Minister of Somalia, appointed a high-level government commission of inquiry on Saturday to investigate complaints by Somali parents who have not heard from their sons who went to Eritrea for military training. Defense Chief Hassan Hussein Haji, Interior Minister Mukhtar Hussein Avrah, and Army Chief of Staff Odawa Yusuf Rage are among those selected to appear on the commission. A large number of mothers gathered on the main streets in Mogadishu on Thursday, demanding the federal government to tell them about the fate of their sons who were sent to Eritrea for military training. The mother said that their children's whereabouts remain unknown since clashes between rebel forces and the Ethiopian military started in the northern Tigray region last year. A UN human rights report citing credible information reported that Somali cadets in Eritrea crossed the Eritrean border alongside Eritrean troops to fight in the Tigray region, but the federal government of Somalia formally refuted accusations by the UN report. The Somalian National Army has carried out a planned operation in Lower Shabelle region where landmines have been planted. The operation was carried out by Special Training Forces of the Somali National Army and the 4th Brigade of the 17th Battalion Commandos in villages under Barira district in Lower Shabelle region, including Balau and Nunai.
The operation was carried out by specially trained forces of the Somali National Army and the 4th Brigade of the 17th Battalion Commandos in villages under Bariri district and Lower Shabelle region, including Balo and Nunei. The commander of the 4th Gorgor Commandos said that the operation was successful in clearing 4 landmines which were planted between Haudeglu and Bariri district in Lower Shabelle region. He added that they will continue to search for landmines, which he said were important as they were often planted by Al-Shabaab on key roads. Commander Joint 4th Commando National Beat Per operation that is coordinating strikes against Al-Qaeda-affiliated Al-Shabaab to carry out some areas of Lower Shabelle. In recent weeks, Somali government forces have been conducting operations against Al-Shabaab in areas under the control of Jauhar town and Raga Ili district in Medo Shabelle region. The 2 regions of Shabelle are the areas where most of the areas are not under the control of the government, and government has carried out several operations to take over these areas from Al-Shabaab, but it has not yet been implemented.
Somali National Army commander has claimed killing 50 Al-Shabaab fighters, adding that its forces have destroyed their bases and hideouts in many parts of Iran, Middle Shabelle and Lower Shabelle regions in the central and southern regions of East African country.
Somali National Army on Sunday said it conducted military operations in 3 different regions in the Horn of African country, killing at least 50 Al-Shabaab fighters in the past 48 hours. The operations took place in the central region of Hiran, Medo Shabelle and southwestern province of Lower Shabelle separately. Somali State Television quoted military commanders as saying, "Many bases of the group were destroyed in the past 48 hours, the army said. As the country is preparing to hold parliamentary and presidential elections in the coming month, the military has intensified operations against the group. The Somali Army's recent operation against Al-Shabaab in Medo Shabelle region has so far killed over 130 members and liberated at least 6 villages, according to the military.
The G7 countries had called for unrestricted access for aid workers to Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, where the UN says some 350,000 people are living in famine conditions. But we will be back after the short break.
Hello out there. Tune in to CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. There's so many people around the world who are watching along with you.
Making documentaries is one of the most creative craft and challenging endeavors you can be involved in. It is an effective strategy to inform, persuade, educate, defend the perspective and shed light on various issues, policies and activities. At CBA TV, documentary production is our forte. We capture every TikTok detail of events in highest resolution to tell the story you care about, from politics to human angle, research-based content, educative and informative. We also help you project your story in a dynamic perspective that attracts the world views of the target audience, as there is no better or more powerful way to place the organization's values and achievements than to make an excellent documentary film. No doubt, our strength lies in these ventures, and we pride in many award-winning documentaries which have been earning accolades across Africa and beyond. Let's tell your story.
Welcome again. The G7 countries has called for unrestricted access for aid workers to Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, where the UN says some 350,000 people are living in famine conditions.
The G7 countries has called for unrestricted access for aid workers to Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, where the United Nations says 350,000 people are living in famine conditions. The group of world leaders gave this call after their face-to-face G7 summit in the Cornish resort of Carbis Bay. Among them are Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany, President Biden, who is making his first foreign visit since taking office, and Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, who joined in the last day of the summit. The G7, in a statement, expressed its deep concerns by the ongoing conflict in Ethiopia's Tigray region and reports of an unfolding major humanitarian tragedy. The world's 7 largest so-called advanced economies also demanded an immediate ceasefire and withdrawal of Eritrean troops. The Eritreans are fighting alongside government forces against local rebels. Ethiopia denies there is famine and says the Eritreans have begun to leave. Fighting broke out in the region in November between government troops and the region's former ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF). The war has led to the killing of thousands of people and forced more than 1.7 million from their homes.
A suicide bomber has carried out a bomb attack targeted at Nana military compound on outskirts of the capital Mogadishu, killing scores.
At the time of filing this report, no number of casualties was ascertained, but a source on account of anonymity reported that about 30 persons have been killed in the attack. The source revealed that the bomber used to be a soldier trained by Somali army, but had ties with Al-Shabaab. Although no group has yet claimed the attack, but Al-Qaeda-affiliated Al-Shabaab fighters have been carrying out such attacks in the country, targeting military bases in and around the capital Mogadishu, with swelling number of fatalities on record. It will be recalled that Somalia National Army SNA commander on Monday claimed to have killed 50 Al-Shabaab members in an operation in Hiran, Middle Shabelle and Lower Shabelle regions in the central and southern regions of East African country. This attack could have been a retaliatory activities on the side of the group. The military has intensified operations against the group as the country is preparing to hold parliamentary and presidential elections in the coming month. The Somali Army's recent operation against Al-Shabaab in Middle Shabelle region has so far killed over 130 members and liberated at least 6 villages, according to the military.
In a letter to the U.S. Congress, U.S. President Joe Biden has announced the deployment of American special troops to Kenya, a move that will help in the region's counter-terrorism efforts.
The Al-Shabaab group is known to have sympathizers in Kenya, and the deployment is expected to be a security boost in the country, which in recent years has suffered deadly gun and bomb attacks from the Somalia-based group. The Al-Shabaab frequently attack the Somali government and military targets, but there have previously been high-profile attacks in Nairobi, including at the Westgate Mall in 2013 and the Dusit D2 complex in 2019. Al-Shabaab publicly declared intent to conduct attacks in retaliation to Kenya's counter-terrorism operations in Somalia, which it carries out as part of the African Union mission. Last December, the administration of former U.S. President Donald Trump ordered the withdrawal of an estimated 700 American troops from Somalia by January 15th. Biden's new administration, however, has publicly maintained it considers Kenya a strategic partner in the fight against terrorism and embarked on the reversal of many policies that had been rolled out by Mr. Trump.
A peace-building and conflict resolution dialogue opened in Mogadishu with the aim of restoring good relationship and stability between local communities and the surrounding regions, notably Afgoye, Warshikh, and Balad districts.
A peace-building and conflict resolution dialogue opened in Mogadishu with the aim of fostering good relationship and stability between local communities and the surrounding regions, notably Afgoye, Warshikh, and Balad districts. The 5-day training is facilitated by the African Union Mission in Somalia, AMISOM's Political Affairs Unit, in collaboration with the Conflict Resolution, Stabilization, and Peace-Building Unit of the Banadi Regional Administration. The participants were taken through conflict dynamics, conflict resolution mechanisms, the psychology of peace, managing intrastate conflict, negotiations in peace processes, role of media in peace building, transformation and reconciliation. Attended by clan leaders, youth representatives, women's groups, key members of the community, and local government officials, the dialogue was officially opened by Basma Amir Sheketi, the Deputy Mayor of Mogadishu and Head of Social Affairs. Ahmed Mohammed Asair, Coordinator of the Conflict Resolution, Stabilization and Peace-Building Unit at the Banadi Regional Administration, said the administration's long-term objective for Mogadishu residents is to be active participants in the country's peace process. Sayyid Ali Arsi, AMISOM Political Affairs Officer, said ahead of the upcoming national elections, it was important for the people of Mogadishu to champion peace and reconciliation, as the city and its residents will have a heightened important role to play in peace processes. At the training was Elder Muhammad Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Rahman, who urged that as many people as possible are trained in peace-building initiatives and reconciliation. He also said that it was necessary to build the capacity of elders in conflict resolution mechanisms because they play an important role in settling disputes that arise within communities. Through facilitation by AMISOM's Political Affairs Unit, the training is expected to help create cohesion among communities by identifying and dealing with factors that undermine peace. With use of expert facilitators with a proven track record in conflict resolution, mediation, and reconciliation, the 5-day training is expected to produce a set of priorities and plans of actions on peace and security for communities to consider in the quest to forge unity and cohesion. Kamel Sadiq, reporting for CBA TV.
And with that, the story of the peace building and conflict resolution dialogue opened in Mogadishu with the aim of fostering good relationship and stability between local communities and surrounding regions, notably Afgoye, Warshikh. We'll wrap up our program for this time. Thank you very much for being with us. This is me, Hamse Daabjeerin.